On the surface, gratitude gets tossed around like some easy, quick trick to feel good all the time, or narrowly defined as a feeling that we should seek, to feel grateful. Well, what I want to talk about instead is that gratitude is something you do. Gratitude is a skill. Instead of trying to help you feel grateful all the time, I'd like to focus instead on helping you learn to expand the scope and depth and breadth of your awareness to help you see what's there more clearly. I think gratitude becomes much more nuanced and powerful when it's not limited to just the feeling realm. So when you think of gratitude, I'd invite you to consider words like purposeful reflection, appreciation, acknowledgement, expanded scope of awareness, noticing, seeing clearly. These are the words and phrases that I think start to lend some complexity to what the skill of gratitude really is. Now, of course, when something big enough happens to you and it's just a big contrast from what you're used to and it's very positive and it kind of hits you in the face with positive emotions, it's easy in those moments to say, I feel grateful. That's the feeling of gratitude that I think most people are overly focused on when they talk about this. But it's all the rest of the time where nothing is hitting us in the face with its obvious contrast of positive feelings. It's those kinds of times and those kinds of things where we really have the ability to increase the skill of how we notice and see and appreciate. So, of course, there are lots of benefits to practicing the skill of gratitude. A large-scale review of all the research on gratitude showed mostly positive associations between gratitude and overall well-being. However, some research indicated that there were nuances in this relationship between gratitude and happiness and well-being, and a few studies even showed negative findings, which is interesting, meaning there's got to be something about the way gratitude is defined by a person, the way it's put into practice, the expectations for it. Those factors probably have a lot to do with how gratitude ends up affecting one's sense of psychological well-being. And here's where I want to get into a couple really important caveats. First and foremost, gratitude is not a magic eraser. It can't just clean away all the stains in your life and all the difficulty that you might endure and pain and distress that you might experience as a human being. It is not a magic trick to get rid of those things. Can it maybe lessen some of the pain or distress you experience? Maybe a bit, at times. But that also quickly becomes a bit of a trap in and of itself. For example, maybe I've experienced something very difficult and I'm hurting or I'm feeling the distress that comes with that thing. And so I think, oh, I just need to be grateful. I just need to notice the things in my life that I'm grateful for, and all of this will go away and I'll feel better. Well, when that inevitably fails, because of course it will, then I'm left with this conclusion that maybe I'm not grateful enough, or maybe something's wrong with me, maybe I'm doing it wrong, and then I even feel worse about myself perhaps than when I started out. Gratitude is not a quick trick. It is not an anesthetic. It is not a magic eraser. It is a perspective enhancer. I like to think of it as adding some color and detail to the picture. It doesn't magically change or replace the picture. It just adds something to it that gives it a little bit of a different perspective. How is it that we do get better at developing this skill of gratitude? First suggestion is you gotta slow down. It takes a pause, a moment or two, to really see and to notice. You can't expand the scope of your awareness to get better at gratitude if your awareness is always racing off to the next thing. Another suggestion would be to try to convince yourself that you're seeing things as if for the first time, with fresh eyes, to somehow sort of clean off the lenses through which you view the world. Of course, we can't actually go back and have experiences for the first time, but we can pause and try to really see things as if they weren't routine. A fun way to practice the skill of gratitude that I particularly like is to pause and drill down into the details and depth of a moment, to really challenge yourself to see the confluence of everything and everyone that has come together to provide an experience for you. Especially consider behind the scenes or unseen influences and people that have offered something that culminates in the gift that you are presently experiencing. Another way to increase the skill of gratitude is to stop insisting that it be attached to an emotional experience. Sometimes noticing and seeing may bring positive emotions. Cool, bonus. Other times, though, it might just be the simple act of acknowledging. I'd invite you to see gratitude not as a skill that's about making you happier, even though it can do that and you should enjoy it when it does. Its far bigger contribution, though, is the value of helping us see more clearly. In this way, gratitude is about seeing our debt to the world around us. It encourages action on our parts, not out of guilt, but out of a sense of profound appreciation and humility. And this all removes gratitude from just the feeling realm, which I think is so limiting and simplistic, and makes it broader and richer and far more powerful for our psychological well-being.